Ali was a young nurse. He had just started working at a small hospital in a quiet town. One night, his manager told him to take the night shift because another nurse was sick. Ali didn't mind. The hospital was not very busy, but this night was different. At 11 p.m., Ali started his shift. The hallways were quiet and the lights were dim. He checked on the patients. All of them were resting. Everything seemed fine. Then, just after midnight, Ali heard the sound of crying. It was soft at first, like a child. He followed the sound down the hallway. It came from room 13. But room 13 was empty. It had been empty for weeks. The hospital didn't use that room anymore because of a fire years ago. Ali opened the door slowly. The room was dark and cold. There was a broken hospital bed inside, and the windows were covered in dust. But there was no... He turned on the lights, but they flickered and then went off again. Suddenly, Ali heard a whisper behind him. It said, "Help me." He spun around. No one was there. Ali quickly left the room and closed the door. He thought, maybe I'm just tired. It's late. He went back to the nurse station and tried to calm down. At 1:30 a.m., the power went out. The whole hospital was dark, except for a few emergency lights. Ali used his flashlight and walked to the power room. On the way, he passed room 13 again. This time, the door was open. He was sure he had closed it before. He looked inside. The bed was now in the middle of the room, and it looked like someone was lying in it, under the blanket. Ali stepped closer. "Hello? Are you okay?" No answer. He pulled the blanket back. The bed was empty. Then the door slammed shut behind him. Ali tried to open it, but it was stuck. The room became cold, so cold he could see his breath. The air felt... He heard the whisper again, this time louder. "Don't leave me here." Ali turned around and saw a figure in the corner. It was a woman in a hospital gown, her head down, long black hair covering her face. "Ma'am, do you need help?" Ali asked, trying to stay calm. She didn't move. Then slowly she raised her head, but her face was empty. No eyes, no mouth, just smooth, pale skin. Ali screamed and banged on the door. Suddenly the lights came back on and the door opened. Another nurse, named Sana, was standing there. "Ali, what are you doing in here?" she asked. Ali looked around. The room was empty again. The bed was in the corner. No one was there. I thought I heard someone, a woman," he said. Sana looked at him. "This room has been closed for a long time. Didn't they tell you the story?" Ali shook his head. Sana sighed. 10 years ago, a patient named Amina was here. She was very sick. One night, the nurses forgot to check on her. She died alone in this room. People say her spirit never left. Ali felt a chill go down his spine. Sana looked serious. "Strange things happen here at night. You should stay away from this room." Ali nodded. "I will." He went back to the nurse station and tried to finish his shift, but he kept hearing small noises, footsteps, whispers, crying. No one else seemed to notice. At 4 a.m., he saw something on the hallway camera, a woman in a gown walking slowly toward the ICU, but when he ran to check, the hallway was empty. He checked the camera again. The woman was now standing right outside the nurse station, but she wasn't there in real life. Then he looked at the screen again. Now she was standing behind him. Ali turned around quickly. Nothing. But the room was cold again. And in the corner of the computer screen, someone had typed a message. "I'm still here." At 6 a.m., the sun came up. The hospital became bright and full of life again. The day shift arrived and Ali's shift was over. He went home, but he couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about what he saw. He never told his family what happened, but he asked his manager to never give him the night shift again. A few months later, he quit the job and moved to another city. Still, sometimes in his dreams, he hears the whisper, "Don't leave me here." After Ali left the hospital and moved to another city, he thought the nightmare was over. He got a new job at a small clinic. It was quiet, clean, and bright. He worked only during the day now. No more night shifts, no more dark hallways, no more ghosts. But after a few weeks, strange things started to happen again. One morning, when Ali entered the clinic, the receptionist smiled and said, "Your friend dropped this off for you." She handed him a small note. It had no name, just 5 words, "You forgot about me." Ali's heart raced. He didn't know anyone in the new city. Who left the note? He looked around, but no one was acting strange. He tried to ignore it and went to work. That night, he had a terrible dream. He was back in room 13, the broken lights flickering, the air freezing cold. The woman with no face stood in the corner, but this time she spoke clearly. "I found you," she said, and she walked closer. "I waited, I called you, and you left me." Ali woke up sweating. His window was open. He was sure he had closed it before. On the floor right near his bed was a wet footprint. The next day, he went to the mosque to pray. He spoke to an old man there, someone known for giving advice and helping people with spiritual problems. Ali told him the story, everything about room 13, the whispers, the ghost, and the dream. The old man listened carefully. Then he said, "Some spirits are not evil, they are just lost. They want peace, but if they feel abandoned, they can become angry, very angry." Ali asked, "What can I do?" "You must go back, face her, listen to her, set her soul free." Ali didn't want to return to the hospital, but he knew the man was right. The ghost followed him because she wanted something. She wanted to be heard. So the next weekend, Ali took a bus back to his old town. He waited until night and went to the hospital. It was quiet and cold, just like before. He walked through the halls, his footsteps echoing. No one stopped him. When he reached room 13, he took a deep breath and opened the door. The room looked just the same, dusty, dark, empty. But then the lights flickered and the bed moved on its own, sliding to the middle of the room. Ali stepped inside. "I'm here," he said softly. "I'm sorry you were alone. I didn't know your story, but I'm here now." The room became freezing cold. A shadow appeared near the bed. The woman. Her hair was wet, her eyes black and hollow, her mouth open but no words came. Ali said, "You're not forgotten. I know your name. Amina. You died in this room, but you don't need to stay here anymore." He recited a prayer out loud, hoping it would help her spirit move on. The woman stared at him. For a moment her face changed, soft, human, sad. She whispered, "Thank you." Then she disappeared. The room became warm again, the lights stayed on, everything was still. Ali left the hospital. He never looked back. From that night on, he never saw the ghost again. No more whispers, no more dreams. But sometimes when he walks down a hallway, he feels a soft breeze, as if someone is passing by. Maybe she found peace. Or maybe she's just waiting for the next forgotten room. Ali felt peace for the first time in months. After returning to room 13 and saying the prayer, the ghost of Amina disappeared. No more nightmares, no more whispers. Life felt normal again. Weeks passed. He smiled more, slept better. He even started dating a kind girl named Sarah, a teacher who worked near the clinic. Things were going well, but horror stories don't always end with a happy smile. One night, Ali and Sarah were walking home after dinner. They passed a new hospital being built in the city. It was large and modern, but the windows were dark and empty. Sarah pointed at the building. "They're opening that next month. I heard they're transferring old patients from across the country." Ali looked at it and felt strange. Something cold brushed his neck. Later that night, while brushing his teeth, he saw something in the mirror. For just a second, standing behind him, a woman in a hospital gown. He turned fast. Nothing there. But written on the foggy mirror were 3 words, "She's not alone." That night, Ali couldn't sleep. He kept hearing things, soft breathing, scratching on the walls, footsteps that stopped right outside his door. He sat up in bed and whispered to himself, "It's over, it's done." But in his dream that night, he was back in a hospital again. Not the old one, a new one. Clean walls, bright lights, silent rooms. He walked down the hall and stopped at a door. Room 13. He opened it. This time, there wasn't just one bed. There were 3. Each one had a figure lying down, covered in white sheets. One by one, the sheets slowly pulled back by themselves. 3 women, all with the same blank, pale face, all staring at him with black, empty eyes. Then a voice echoed. She was never the only one. Ali woke up shaking. He turned on every light in his apartment. His phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. "We remember you." Ali went back to the old hospital to find answers. He spoke to an old janitor who used to work there. "There were more deaths," the man said. "Not just Amina. After her, a few more women died in the same room. The staff covered it up, said it was just bad luck." Ali asked, "Why didn't anyone say anything?" "They were scared," the janitor said. "Every time someone talked about it, strange things started happening. Lights breaking, machines stopping, people going missing." Ali realized something horrible. He didn't free a ghost. He opened a door. Now more were coming through. That night, Ali stayed up, searching old records, looking through hospital files, newspaper articles. One headline made his blood freeze. Mysterious deaths at local hospital, room 13, shut down permanently. Under the article was a black and white photo of a nurse, taken years ago. She was young, smiling. Ali looked closer. The smile was familiar. It was Sana, the nurse who had warned him about room 13. But the date on the photo was from 1997. Ali's hands shook. Sana wasn't alive. She was one of them. She had warned him not to come back, but he did. And now they all knew his name. That night he had one final dream. He was standing in the new hospital again. All the doors were open, and from each room they came walking out, dozens of them. Nurses, patients, shadows, ghosts with no eyes, no mouths, just silence and cold. They surrounded him, and one by one they whispered, "You saw us. You spoke to us. Now you belong to us." Ali hasn't been seen since that night. Some say he moved away. Others say he lost his mind. But in the new hospital, sometimes people hear whispers near room 13, and a new nurse, quiet and kind, walks the halls. Her name tag says Sana, but she's not on the staff list, and if you ever work the night shift, don't open room 13, because she's not alone anymore.